Bloomberg reporting very recently that it looks like the tax cut part of the Obamacare repeal bill is going to come out. Could that aspect be enough to bring the moderates on board, provided that that money is then redeployed to helping more people get health insurance?
That's certainly the key, Joe. I think the idea here was to appease members like Bob Corker and Susan Collins, who have questioned whether some of these taxes should be repealed in a health care bill. Now, remember, it's not all of the tax cuts that are going away from this bill. The two key ones that are going away have very little to do with the cost of health care. They are the 3.8% tax on investment incomes above $250,000 for families, and the 0.9% Medicare surtax. Together, they raise about $230 billion. That's a lot of money for McConnell to play around with and win some of the holdouts. There's a lot he can do with that, including potentially plus up the tax credits, provide more opioid treatment money for holdouts like Rob Portman and skeptics like Shelley Moore Capito in West Virginia. He could also reduce some of the size of the Medicaid cuts and with maybe some special treatment for rural hospitals that are getting hit particularly hard, and that someone like Susan Collins has been complaining about. So it just gives them a lot of breathing room, and I think that's one of the reasons there. I spoke to John Barrasso, the number 4 Republican senator, who confirmed that those two taxes are not going to be in the revised version. I'm sorry, the repeal of those two taxes is not going to be in the revised version. They're going to stay.
Sahil, if they do pass that bill, sans those tax cuts, what does that mean then for the prospects back in the House? Do we feel that, or does it seem like the House would be inclined to go with whatever the Senate opts to do?
You know, there are going to be some upset members about the fact that all of these taxes aren't going. These are some of the most reviled provisions to conservatives, to people like Senator Toomey, who's been insisting that these taxes go away, and to the Freedom Caucus that also wants them to go away. But look, whether this is going to be a deal breaker, who is going to stand up and stand in front of a camera and say, I will not vote for this bill because it keeps these tax hikes on wealthy people, even if it does all these other things I want? It's a tough political argument to make. There'll be a lot of complaining about it behind the scenes, but I personally don't expect this to be a deal breaker, Joe, for the conservatives.